Family relationships are very important. They can provide the support and encouragement needed to get through life. Sadly, having a child on the autism spectrum can cause a lot of strain on marriages.
My son's autism was probably the hugest stressor on my marriage that we ever had. I think that it almost broke us up at least 3 or 4 times. It was all the strain of raising him. We were sleep deprived. We were both frustrated. At the beginning, we didn't know why my son was acting the way he was. We had completely opposite opinions on why he was the way he was. To my husband, it was that I was spoiling him. To me, it was that my husband was trying to just whip him in the line. I was more like, I couldn't get him to do something, so I'd back off and I'd sneak around the other way and I'd kind of push him into getting it done without just forcing him straight into doing it. And my husband considered that spoiling him. There was a lot of tension between us. When we got the diagnosis, my first thought was to educate myself about everything I could learn about Asperger's. I basically sacrificed 5 years of my life fighting for my son. My whole time outside of work was devoted to letter writing, phone calls, anything I could think of. I came to a lot of dead ends, but I spent 5 years basically only focusing on one purpose, and that was my son. And it wasn't until a couple years ago that my husband finally realized that everything I had done for my son had actually come to fruition. You could see the results, and all of a sudden it was like, he was like, wow, you really did do something good for him. It's like our marriage is on the mend now. I feel sort of vindicated as a parent, like I've done right by my son. It also, though, improved his relationship with his father, because when he finally saw the purpose to my madness and saw the changes in Matthew, now Matthew and my husband are very close. I think we have a very good family relationship.
My family relationships are pretty close. We live on a farm, pretty close from here, which is pretty nice, so I can go home on the weekends if I want to. I still try to distance myself from them so I don't get so dependent, but I still have them in my life, and that's what I want to keep.
Family relationships are important. Many people with autism don't always come from good families. Studies, in fact, show that divorce rates are higher among families of children with autism. There are some families that entirely reject the person with autism. In my novel, Out to Get Jack, I write all about that issue. The plot line of that story is how a boy with autism, aged 11, this is what my book looks like. It's called Out to Get Jack. And the premise of this book is, how does this family accept this boy? Family relationships are important, but no one can be made to accept you, not even your family. An adult with autism helped me understand a concept he called chosen family. If family relationships aren't working for you, it is okay to make relationships with people that could be your chosen family. If you have good friends that help you the way family does, that's okay too. Just because someone is your mother or your father or your brother or your sister does not mean they have to like you. But if you do have a good relationship with someone in your family, work hard to keep it. But if you don't get along with your family, find what my friend called chosen family.